The abandoned farm. In the quiet town of Willow Creek, there was a legend about an old farm on the outskirts. It was said that many years ago, the entire farmer's family disappeared in one night under mysterious circumstances. Locals whispered that those who dared to spend a night alone in that place were never the same again. A group of 6 friends, Emily, Jake, Michael, Sarah, David, and Grace, decided to test this legend. They often engaged in various courage trials, but now they wanted to challenge themselves at the scariest location. Emily, with her blonde hair shining under the moonlight, volunteered first. "I'll show you what real bravery is," she declared as she entered the dark building. The others drove away, agreeing to return an hour after midnight. At midnight, a blood-curdling scream echoed through the night. When they returned, the door was wide open, and inside they found only a note. "She lives, but now I am part of her." A year passed. Emily suddenly vanished without a trace. Everyone searched for her, but she was never found. Next was Jake's turn. "This is just a silly story," he said confidently as he stepped inside. Again, the same sequence of events unfolded. The scream at midnight, the note with the chilling message. A year later, his body was found in his apartment, eyes wide with terror, face contorted in fear. Sarah went third. She had always considered herself the bravest among them, but her fate was no different. The scream, the note. A year later, her car inexplicably plunged off a bridge into the river. Experts examining the vehicle found no mechanical issues. David was fourth. He was convinced it was all a prank set up by his friends. Yet, he met the same end. A year later, he fell from his own house roof. The witnesses saw him standing near the fence before that. Grace became the 5th. She cried as she entered the house, but insisted she had to do it. The familiar note appeared once more. A year later, she was found hanging in her bedroom, though the windows were closed from the inside and the door was locked with no signs of forced entry. Finally, it was Michael's turn. He hesitated for a long time, but eventually mustered the courage. As usual, the scream echoed at midnight. This time, the friends waited outside. When Michael entered the house, he immediately felt an eerie presence. In the old mirror, his reflection began to change slowly. His face grew paler. His eyes filled with darkness. The shadows around him started moving on their own, forming strange silhouettes. "Now you are one of us," a voice whispered directly into his ear. Michael turned around, but there was no one there. Only then did he notice that his own hands had become transparent. The friends outside heard the final scream and rushed into the house, but it was too late. Inside, they found another note. He lasted longer than the rest, but now there are 6 of them. Years passed, and the legend of the abandoned farm grew stronger. People claimed to see ghostly figures wandering around the property at night. Some said they could hear faint screams coming from the old barn. Others reported seeing shadowy shapes peeking through the broken windows. One day, a new group of teenagers decided to test their courage at the infamous location. They didn't know the full story, nor did they understand the danger they were putting themselves in. As they approached the farm, an unsettling feeling crept over them. The air seemed colder, heavier, as if something ancient and malevolent was watching their every move. Inside, they discovered strange symbols carved into the walls. The wood creaked ominously with each step they took. Suddenly, one of the teens felt a cold breath on the back of his neck. He turned around, but no one was there. Laughter echoed through the empty halls, yet none of them had made a sound. As night fell, the group realized they weren't alone. Doors slammed shut by themselves. Shadows danced across the walls in impossible ways. And then, one by one, they started disappearing.